So I have always remembered being a very fearful person. I like to say that fear is in my DNA, which is not really a good thing. I think I just have a good imagination. Robust, maybe not good, robust. I remember being a kid and just being scared of everything. Earthquakes is gonna happen. I'm gonna get swallowed up into a crevice. I can't watch movies at a certain movie theater because it's by a gas station, and what's gonna happen? It is going to explode and I'm gonna die. I thought this way of thinking was normal, so I brought it into my marriage. So when I got married to Nathan, I thought he was the best. I still think he's pretty great. We've been married for 14 years now. I know the truth. So he's pretty great, and I love him so much. I loved him so much. So I had this idea that I love him too much. I'm idolizing him. God is gonna take him out of my story, and I'm gonna be alone and sad forever. And then I had children, and then comes on this whole other new anxiety of wanting to protect them. And I would just have these intrusive thoughts, terrible things that were gonna happen to them. I was sure of it. It made for my mind to not be a very peaceful place to live. But God in his kindness has not left me there, thankfully. Especially at the beginning of the pandemic, I just came to this point where I could not handle the fear. I couldn't handle the fear. My normal coping mechanisms of crying in a corner were not working. But God just beckoned me to himself, invited me to learn about him. I needed to understand his character better, the person of God. Who is God? We know what Jesus has done for us, but who is God? Just through reading the word, I've discovered that he truly is good. He is good. He is who he says he is, and he says he's good. He is faithful. He will never leave me. He will never cast me out. And I think that was just a terrifying thing. I was always sure that I would get in some emotional pain or situation. I tried to prepare myself with these worst case scenario thinking, what if this happened? God kindly has brought me to this place of turning my what ifs into even ifs. Even if something terrible was to happen, I'm still with you. And I am still good, even if it doesn't feel good in the moment, right? And just so knowing the character of God and knowing the promises of God has just made me feel so much more peace. I could not have come to this place without Jesus. And then just also God helping me to realize that I do idolize my comfort. I idolize a full gas tank and milk and eggs and chicken and beef. I want what I want, and I idolize my children often, and I idolize my husband. And God brought me to this place just helping me to realize that those are gifts, but they're not God. That I am made for him. I'm made to worship him. And when I remember that, remember who he is, remember who I am to him, then I can really have peace. And I love Psalm 23. It just brought me so much comfort. It says, "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He leads me. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." And I just think that's such a beautiful picture. God is never asking us to go out alone. He is always with us. He is leading us. What a good time to remember this at Christmas, right? Emmanuel, God with us, the Prince of Peace.
For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and of peace there will be no end, on the throne of David and over his kingdom, to establish it and to uphold it with justice and with righteousness from this time forth and forevermore. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will do this.